Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend so far. We had a big week this past week. We had the M Motors announcement with all that fun stuff, a hugely informative AMA. We had South by Southwest going off and shedding more light on what's to come for the Upland metaverse, and a Flora-oriented tokenomics system, and just a ton more. So a lot to come over this past week. Let's start jumping in. Welcome to This Week in Review in Upland, where we take a bit of time to discuss what's going on in the Upland metaverse, and it's more from an analytical perspective. If this is your first time on the page, welcome to the crew, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. How healthy is the UpX economy? How is each market sector doing? How is each area performing? And which deal's the best? Which deal's the worst, right? What's all going on? All the important information that most folks overlook that can be the difference between success and failure. If you'd like to join all of us in the Upland metaverse buying, collecting, and flipping virtual real estate NFTs, click the promo link in the description. It gets you into Upland with 6,000 starting UpX instead of the regular 4,500. And if you decide to invest some cash, you also get a massive 50% bonus to your first purchase with a bonus cap of 50,000 UpX. Make sure to check out all the details on ssftg.com/upland. So with all the fun stuff out of the way, let's get going into what's happening in the Upland metaverse, shall we? So first off, the first thing that took place on March 15th was the Master Builders Contest Phase 1, and that was more along the lines of voting. And man, there were some sweet designs in this one. I am so excited for some of these different ones. I'm really excited to see all of the different winners and how all these different things come out. You can see all the different voting results here so far. And each one is going to bring different locations. So these are all for Santa Clara and Oakland and San Francisco. And then we're going to have other ones coming with Manhattan and all the other things. So these are the new buildings that we're anticipated to see coming out that people are voting on. And man, talk about cool. These are going to look really, really awesome. On March 15th, we had the St. Patrick's Day Hunt in Upland, which is a really cool event for a couple different reasons. First off, obviously it's already done. Looks like Nitrous 789 is the winner, which is awesome. Congrats. But going through it, they had two different types. They had a competitive version, which is going around looking for clues, heavily timed. Everybody's competing for it, right? Really competitive stuff, which some people love. Some people absolutely thrive in that competitive environment, but other people, they hate it, right? So they did also do a casual play mode, which is kind of a nice little relief for players who don't want to deal with the incredible competitiveness that can happen, especially in this type of environment. And that was kind of a cool way where you could register, you get your UpX back from that, and you also have a chance to earn some bonus UpX. Now, if you did go along with the competitive mode, there were some pretty seriously cool different reward systems and all of that, which is all broken down right here. Obviously, this one is already done, but if you're a big fan of these kinds of hunts or hunting for clues or any of that, keep your eye out for these because these can be really lucrative. March 17 is the next one up, and that gives us the M Motors project. Super, super exciting. Obviously, there's been a ton of news about this one. There's been a ton of hype about this one. There's been a ton of videos being made about this one. It's a big thing, right? It's a big deal. Well, they are building their factory, right? The Oracle building over in Santa Clara. The address for which is 4220 Network Circle. And that's important because if you go and you stake 0.1 Spark on the project, you have a chance to win some pretty awesome rewards. So first off, if you remember back to the stadium project that happened not too long ago in Los Angeles when they were building the SoFi Stadium, they did a giveaway for those. Everybody who was staking on that had a chance to win and all of that. This is the same concept. The cool thing about this is it's like 14 days long it's going to be going on for, and they're going to be doing a drawing for 20 different winners for the M Motors Project Block Explorer, which is this cool helmet thing. There's only going to be 20 of them, so just by itself, it's really awesome. But from a collector's standpoint, from a value perspective, that's crazy. And on top of that, at the conclusion of the construction, they're also going to be drawing 5 players to win 1 Spark. 1 Spark, that's a $460 value, and 5 people. So really, really cool to see that kind of stuff coming through. Contributing, again, all you got to do is go to the address 4220 Network Circle in Santa Clara and stake your 0.1 Spark on the project. Easier said than done, but if you follow some timers, there are ways to get on board. On March 18th, we have the new treasure and rewards tiers, which I'm going to have to do a whole video on separately, because there's quite a bit of information in here. And you know me, I'm a big fan of treasure hunting. I'm getting getting better, I'd like to say. But it's one of those things that is very interesting. There's a lot of big updates. They're adding 2 new tiers for a total of 5 total treasure tiers, new send structures, all kinds of cool stuff. So there's a lot of really, really good information in here if you want to read up more about it. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing a video in a couple days breaking this more down and kind of covering my my new approach to treasure hunting. I don't know how much it's going to change, but there's a lot of really cool updates coming with this overhaul. I don't know where the post was for Phase 2, and maybe it got nestled into one of the other announcements, but Phase 3 for Master Builders Contest was announced March 18. You can submit Nashville models, New Orleans models, Kansas City models, and Rutherford models, which is going to be really, really cool. Man, I'm so excited for this. If you're big into 3D modeling and all of that, this is a really, really cool way to possibly get your foot in the door on a really, really big metaverse. All right, and then we get to jump into the nerdy bit, the fun part that I love so much. It's the analytics. As far as the market analytics, the 30-day transactional volume on the UPIX side of things last week was 3.648 billion. This week it's 3.564. That's a decrease of 2.302%. Not that big of a deal. As we can see from the trend perspective, everything is starting to go kind of back into alignment again. We found our little bit of supportive base, whether you're looking at the UPIX or the swaps, and now we're kind of building up that supportive level to possibly increase back up again. We've sort of settled after the Detroit market launch. Wow. And we can kind of work our way through and see how that has impacted the market as a whole. And, you know, one thing that we've been talking about for a while is finding that balance and letting the market sort of get its ebb and flow out of the way and figure out where it wants to go. And it seems like we're finally starting to settle down a little bit. As far as unminted properties, last week there were 631,106. This week there's 594,146. That's a decrease of 5.856%. We are still seeing a lot of minting going on here as far as the overall structure is concerned. And we were talking about this on how, you know, with Detroit, eventually we're going to start running out of properties. And at 5.86%, that's going to be sooner than later, huh? And then the zone-by-zone sector analysis side of things. First up is Bakersfield. Now, if we look at Bakersfield, the USD side of things is not having a good time at all. $7.99 down to $6. There's a really, really big pullback. But I will say this, a little bit of a caveat for Bakersfield. In looking at this prices, this was the only one left for $6. And then it jumped back up to $7. So I'm still reporting it, right? So it's on there, but technically speaking, the dollar value's down 25%. Realistically, it's only down about 12.5%. That said, if we're looking at the UPIX side of things, 9,000 to 9,000, unchanged. The biggest mover that we've got going on is a 30% decline in the Downtown Limited collection from 70,000 to 49,000. Big drop over there. We also have a 15% drop over in the Oaks, which is a nice little collection pullback down 15.79%. On the gaining side of things, there weren't many, but West Bakersfield is up 13.3%. Kind of a little bit of an interesting ebb and flow there, but some caveats too. Next up is the Bronx, and from this one, we have a little bit of a slight increase. Hey, right? USD side of things going from $7.97 to $8. That's a nice little 0.38% increase. And the UPIX floor from 9,500 to 10,249, a 7.88% increase there. As far as the collections are concerned, it seems like a lot of people are buying up the lower end of the spectrum, with almost none of them, limited and standard, being down, and the only one that is Morris Park, that's only down 9% from basically 22 to 20. Not much of a change there, but other ones like Pelham Bay, that's up 20%. Throg's Neck is up almost 15%. The lower end of things, though, on the exclusive and rare collection side, that one's taken a little bit of a hit, down 16% in Riverdale, 14% in Grand Concourse, and even 11% in Sedgwick Ave. Brooklyn isn't seeing any help either from the pullback side of things. We've got USD from $9 down to $7.50. That's down 16.67%. The UPIX floor from 11,000 to 988. That's down 10.11%. From the collection side of things, here's the overall layout, but some notable ones. We've got a 19% pullback in the Crown Heights Standard collection. Nice dip there if you're trying to hunt for some collection properties, and even a 15% decrease in the limited Fulton Street collection. On the lower end of things, some of them taking a bit of a beating, predominantly in the exclusives, Manhattan Beach, Broadway, and Flatbush Ave, all down 19, 14, and 18%. But, holy moly, Rare Bay Park collection, whoa, up 73.75%. Definitely see where the money's flowing. Oh, it's Chicago. I can't help it. It's just in my blood. We've got the Chicago side of things. First off, Chicago's doing incredibly well. We've got the previous USD floor 546, current floor $6. That's up a nice 9.89%. But the UPIX floor, 6,000 to 8,500. I mean, who didn't see that coming really? But 41% in 1 week. That's a nice increase. Lowest markups only 80% now. That was, I think, in the 50s for a little while there. Sorry for the back and forth. As far as the collection side of things, we are seeing some really, really nice rippers. We've got the limited collection Damon Ave up 36%, but we also have some pullbacks as well. 22% down in Hyde Park. Nice little collection dip there. Obviously a notable one. Wow. Lakeshore Drive, another one. Rare collections, ultra rares. Man, they're really seeing some cash flooding in here. We've got Lakeshore Drive up 80%. Hokey smokes. In Cleveland, we've got some decent back and forth here as well, but once again, the USD side, 765 down to 599, down 21.7%. Big pullback in the USD side of things for Cleveland. UPIX floor, not really much going on. Actually, it's up 11.11%. So not too bad there. Lowest markups, 82% at the moment. From the collection side of things, we've got some decent overall stability, honestly. There's not really a whole lot going on in the Cleveland end. Notable movement, the only real one is Lorraine Avenue. The exclusive collection's back up 0.39%. Honestly, that 59,000, like we were talking about last week, I think that was just a dip for some UPIX cash flow. Otherwise, pretty stable over in Cleveland. Fresno is definitely picking up a heck of a lot of strength here. First off, the UPIX floor is 95.55 last week to 13.089. That's 36.99% in Fresno. Big, I mean, very nice movement back to the upside. USD floor from $7 to $7.90. That's also up 12.86%. The lowest markup is 200%. If we're looking at the collection side of things, the lower end is doing incredibly well. First off, we already know the general side of things up 36%, but even Woodward Park up 14%. Some notable pullbacks as well. We've got the Van Ness's back down 20.46%. The exclusive collections like Lowell and Olive Ave down 45%. Well, the rare collection picking up a little bit in Fulton Street, 59% up, but then downtown murals down 35%. Not really following the trend that we've been seeing across the other markets. Detroit finally giving us some stable numbers to work with here in terms of last week and this week, as well as just finally having some numbers on the board that we can work with week over week. First off, if we're looking at the USD floor, 325 to 325, that has increased a little bit. The last time I looked, it was actually at like 370s or 380s. I think a lot of weekend warriors are coming in, picking up the USD floor, probably flipping for UPIX, because the last time I checked, the UPIX floor also went up. I think that was at like 5,100 just a few minutes ago. But either way, from about an hour or two ago, when I first did this, we have the previous USD floor 325, current floor 325, no change. The UPIX floor 4,000 to 47.99, up 20%. Lowest markup 65%, but that is quickly raising higher while people in the USD floor are selling out for cash, likely to get that spark. One of the big things that we're seeing here is some of the hype train, let me zoom in a little bit here, some of the hype train wearing off a bit in the Detroit end of things. First off, the collections are getting absolutely whacked in the Detroit end of things. The floor is doing incredibly well, but the collections are getting slammed. And I think this is a lot of that hype train finally calming down. We've been talking about for a while on how these prices are likely going to be heavily inflated because everybody's got to get it, right? They've got to get in. The hype train. Now that hype train has left the station, people can kind of calm down and recalibrate as to what's going on. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Every single collection, aside from the standards, are down. All of them, right? Now, some of them are only down 7%, 6%, but the other ones, exclusive collections, down 42%. If we look at this realistically comparative to some of the other markets, this pricing is a bit on the low side, honestly. Some of these limited collections, when we compare these limited collections to other zones, those are closer in the 40,000 range. But remember, we're talking about a tier 3 city area here too. This is still going to take some time to get its wiggles out, but it seems like things are coming back into alignment with more what you would expect to be realistic. Kansas City is another one where the USD side is getting hit a little bit, but the UPX floor is actually relatively stable. The USD floor was $7.47 down to $6 this week. That's down 19.68%. However, the UPX floor, $84.90 to $8,500. Basically unchanged at that point. If we're looking at the collection side of things, overall the collections, once again, we're seeing a little bit of back and forth, nowhere near as crazy as Detroit, but we are seeing some smaller pullbacks, down 9% in standard collections like Shoal Creek. On the other hand, exclusive collections like Troost Ave, up 22%. What a shock, right? We were talking about that one last week and how it was a nice little dip there. We also have 18th and Vine, which is up 63%. And other Sunset Hill rare collections down 31%. There is still some pretty big ebb and flow going on over here, just maybe not as crazy as Detroit. Los Angeles bringing a little bit of stability over in the UPX side of things actually better than stability. It's up 18% this week from 66.66 to 78.90. The USD floor from 580 to 580, unchanged there. Again, the last time I checked, it was starting to increase. The lowest markup, 57%, but that is going to ebb and flow quite a bit with the Weekend Warrior side of things. One thing that we can definitely, I gotta zoom out just so I can fit them all, jeez. One thing that we can see here big time. First off, it looks kind of scary, but the Sounds of LA is down 72.5%. Basically, that went from off sale to on sale is effectively what happened there, from $20,000 to $5,500. The ultra rare collection side of things, those usually don't hang around on that lower end for very long before someone like Sotheby's picks it up. But looking at some of the other collections, we're seeing some nice increasing. Los Angeles is up 18% as a whole. Sherman Oaks is stable, basically unchanged. Other ones doing really well, 18% up in East Hollywood. We have other gainers, 26% up in the Pacific Palisades, 17% up in Bel Air, but Ventura Boulevard down 14%. Manchester Boulevard picking it right back up 18%. On the lower end of things, or the upper end of things, depending on how you want to look at it, Hollywood and Wilshire Boulevard, both rare collections down 28 and 30% respectively. And some of the even ultra rares coming basically on sale. We've got a lot of movement going on in Los Angeles. Manhattan once again bringing us the stability back into the markets. We've got our current floor $99. Previous floor is $105. It's down 5.71%. This $99 one, that was the only one sub 100, and I don't think it lasted very long. Pretty much anything under 100 gets swept up pretty quick. But on the UPX floor, $132,490 down to $130. That's down 1.88%. A little bit of calm in the overall storm, so to speak. However, if we're looking at collections, that's where things change drastically. Chinatown and Broadway up 20% and 40% in Broadway. We also have a 36% gain in Houston Street. So the collection side of things in Manhattan are lifting very aggressively. Nashville is the next one on the list, which is getting USD slapped around a little bit here too. The previous USD floor $777 down to $595, down 23.42%. Lowest markup 70%. Previous UPX floor $9,000 down to $88.88. That's only down 1.24%. We've got some stability on that end of things. The collection side, we've got some big ebbs and flows over here as well. West Nashville up 20%. Priest Lake down 11%. We also have exclusive collections like Downtown up 23%. 12th Ave South rare collection 30% up to the highs there. Nashville murals down 43.75%. We've got a lot of back and forth going on over in Nashville. New Orleans bringing up some really good stability here. The previous UPX floor $9,000, the current UPX floor $10,400. That's up 15.56%. Very nice gain there. The USD floor $7.48 up to $7.80. That's up 4.28%, with the lowest markup being 92%. Pretty good overall movement, but if we're looking at the collections, here again, collections are all over the place. We've got 15% dips in limited collections like French Quarter, rips rather, 15% rips. We've got 19% dips in exclusive collections like Royal Street, big pullbacks going on over there, and even some of the rare collections like Decatur down 12.5%. Otherwise, though, I mean, for the most part, a little bit more on the stable side of things for New Orleans. Oakland is giving us some relatively decent stability as well. Previous UPX floor $99.99, current floor $10,700. That's up 7%, with the previous USD floor unchanged, $875 to $875. Lowest markup currently 81%. When we look at the collections, we've got some decent pullbacks, some decent lifts, right? 19% up in West End. Piedmont's up 16%. On the limited collection side of things, Rock Ridge and Shafter down 10% and 13%. We also have a little bit of back and forth. Telegraph Ave notably down 17.5%. And in the ultra rare collection side of things, Solano Ave up 23.08. Really nice ebb and flow. Over in Rutherford, which I still have no little blue circles. I'm still trying to find deals, but man, Rutherford is just one of those markets that never really pulls back. I'm a cheap deal hunter, and this thing just never goes on sale. Looking at the overall numbers here, the previous USD floor 37, the current floor 37, that's unchanged. Previous UPX floor 47,000 to 49,600, that's up 5.5%. The collection side of things, very stable, unchanged in both Feronia Ave and Caramita Ave. Park Ave is down 3.7%. Again, Rutherford is just one of those markets like Manhattan that's just, it's stable. It just doesn't really move a whole lot, and it's a beautiful store of value. And speaking of store of value, San Francisco, they gave one dip and one dip only, and that's about it. Man alive, this thing just bounced right back up to where it should be, in my opinion. San Francisco is the OG. In terms of the overall movement, we've got the previous USD floor, $23, all the way back up to $33.85. That's up 47%. 25,000 previous UPX floor up to 36,450. That's a 45.8. Lowest markup now 215%. San Francisco is absolutely killing it on the lower end, especially. The lower end, obviously, the main collection's up 45%. But even Sunset up 14%. Mission District up 31%. We do have some pullbacks on the higher end, which is kind of interesting because the other higher end markets are up, to be fair. Financial District's up 31%, but we do also have exclusive Seacliff down 31%, Lombard Street, Lombard, whatever, down 35%, and even Market Street down 11%. So we do have some that are pulling back even in these monster market areas. Santa Clara was on the dip last week, and you'll notice, yes, we got ourselves a blue dot in there too. We also picked one up in a nice little collection. Beautiful pullback. Oh, what a sale. Anyway, looking at some of these dips, the market is rebounding here as well. USD floor $17.99 up to $18.90, already up 5%. Previous UPX floor $21,750 up to $23,500, up 8% there. Lowest markup is 104%, and they are running away fast. Looking at the overall Santa Clara health, I should stop talking about that because I still want to buy some, so leave me alone. Santa Clara, overall, we do have some collection pullbacks. We've got West Central down 13.3%, however, North 101 up 12%. Southwest down 9%, flip-flopped it right back up. Homestead Road up 5%, and El Camino down 15%, above $1 million, down below $1 million now, ready to rock and roll. Santa Clara obviously seeing a lot of health. We've been talking about this for a while. They're building the Oracle factory here. Let me zoom in on it real quick. All right, there we go. We got zoomed in here. So the address, if you're not familiar, 4220 Network Circle in Santa Clara. This is the Oracle building that they're going to be using for M Motors, and this is the one that we were talking about earlier that you can stake on if you were so lucky to actually get in there. I was able to get in there, but there's still 14 days left. And after people are drawn for winners, they usually duck out, and then you'll find a way to get back in there. But that's why a lot of Santa Clara is picking up steam, because really, how could it not, especially with that coming into play? M Motors, that's a pretty big deal. And then over in Staten Island, to wrap things up, we've got our USD floor, which is getting slapped around a little bit here. The previous USD floor, $9.97 down to $8. That's down 19.76%. Lowest markup, 130%. Previous UPX floor, 11,600 down to 10,500. That's also down 9.48% there. So we do have some pretty hefty pullbacks going on in the Staten Island side of things. Collections are no different, although we are seeing some pulses to the upside. Standard collections like Great Kills up 13.85%. However, limited collections like Stapleton down 21%. That certainly doesn't feel too good. On the upper end of things, exclusive collections, St. George and Victory Boulevard up 13 and 14% there too. So they do have some nice gains, but there are some nice pullbacks going on there as well. All right, well, that's going to do it for this weekend in review in the Upland metaverse. I hope you and yours are doing well this weekend, and hopefully your stacks are, of course, as thick as ever. Have an amazing rest of your weekend getting ready for this this kind of big week ahead of us. I mean, we've got M Motors. It seems like we've got new news coming out every single day. Super exciting stuff to be going on here. But getting ready for everything going on. Hopefully everything is ready to rock and roll on your end. You have a fantastic Monday and a fantastic weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the metaverse.